Welcome to Short Circuits, an ongoing YouTube series about Transformers cartoons from the past and present. Now, lads, last time we were all up in the grill of G1, More Than Meets the Eye, the 3-part opener of the original cartoon. It's time for something a little bit different today, isn't it?
It's more animated content, but a different animated. Huh?
Right.
Ooh.
It's Transformers animated. Well, that's the show, isn't it? It's Transformers animated.
That is what it is.
Yeah. That's what it's called.
That one. It is that one.
It's a confusing name, though, right? Like, years on. Like, I get why they called it that.
Like the previous ones weren't animated.
Yeah.
They
yeah, no,
did
exactly.
something
Yeah.
else.
Transformers animation animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a hard, I don't know, there's something about it that makes it a little bit confusing in sort of retrospect. I don't know why.
I never
but
really
it does.
thought about that.
It does a little
really
bit.
funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
It would be like, say, the 1989 Batman film being called Batman in live action, like we'd never seen it before.
Exactly
You know what I mean?
It's exactly that. Yeah. Now,
It's good.
some people, believe it or not, some people consider this to be the best Transformers cartoon of all time.
Well, I have a bombshell to
Do
drop
you?
right now in that I have never seen it. So this is my first watch.
No.
Yes, because I had a child when this was
Jason.
released and I was too tired to watch anything.
Jason!
I know, eh? Isn't that amazing? So I know bits of
Are
it.
we firing him now? Is he
Yeah,
getting
I
in
was
the way of
gonna
the
This
ban?
is
say-
exciting. This is like, I'm literally experiencing this
Man.
for the first time.
Jason,
Yeah. Dan.
your diplomatic immunity, it's just been revoked.
Revolt.
Dear Lord. Okay, so this is going to be it. So you don't know anything then? You
No,
don't-
I don't know nothing. Exactly. Yeah,
My
I've seen
God.
stuff. I've seen some stuff, but
You have the toys, though.
I've got all the toys. Pretty much. I think I'm only missing a couple. Yeah, I absolutely love.
Jason, I love how you do stuff. You've just got this totally unique approach to collecting and the fandom and
Yeah.
Spoilers, Jason, those toys, they came from a cartoon.
yeah,
Is it an animated cartoon?
Yes, an animated
animated cartoon
Transformers cartoon.
using animation. Yeah.
Oh, so what was lovely about watching the first episode for the first time ever?
Oh, my toys have come to life.
Literally,
Oh, it's all animated.
It was like the G1 cartoon
Yeah.
tune, but not.
Did you think you'd put the wrong thing on?
I was like, oh, is this the right? I know. I was like, what's going on
He's
here?
like, oh,
Amazing.
the music was really
The
good.
wrong video
The music
in.
is really good. You know?
It's 17
It
years
was.
old, this cartoon. Do you
I
know what I
know.
mean?
It's almost vintage.
Was it 17?
Hang on a minute.
Hang on, my son's only 11.
I was
What
going to
was it?
say, your boy is 11.
Yeah, hang on a second. Something's
you
going
on
a bit
about, man?
skewy. Oh, was it when I set up my company? Might have been. I don't know. I was lost. Wait, I could do the math.
2007.
2000 I was traveling around the world. That's what it was.
Oh,
I
my
was traveling
God.
around the world.
In 80 days.
Yeah.
Well, no.
In a little balloon. Please
357
send me a
days.
little gswags.com on the side. Little balloon.
Yeah, I was in Malaysia buying MP toys and Binotex. That's what I was doing.
Right.
That makes more sense. I was trying to work out earlier. How did I miss this?
And animated toys, though.
No, I think I got those. I must have got those when I got back in 2008. Oh, I can't remember.
Okay.
Too many now.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it though. That's the
Okay.
thing.
Welcome to 2006/7? Which one?
7/8. 7/8.
7
Yeah.
stroke 8.
So this was released, believe it or not, initially in America anyway, on I think it was Boxing Day, December 2007. But of course, this was all sort of kicking off around the time of the first live action movie. So it was in production whilst that was in production as well. So that's where you can see some of the sort of through lines and things in this as well. And I wouldn't say it's heavily inspired by that, but there's definitely some similarities and things in there, as well as also, I think, taking inspiration from G1, from Beast Wars, from various other things that had already been established in Transformers at that time.
That's what I was getting the gist of pretty much right from the get-go.
There's more of that as well. I got to be careful what I say here because of blooming
Well, it's fine.
spoilers, don't I?
No, it doesn't. So I will say it doesn't matter if spoilers happen because, this is part of just the bants and just going through it as well and what's coming.
The Bants.
But I'm intrigued, just on a kind of new watch, of the fact that Prime is looking at a snazzy video of the history of the Transformers,
right.
and he's not in it. And I'm kind of like, oh, how's that work?
Well, that is because animated is the greatest love letter to Transformers that has
Yeah.
existed. Because
So I
it
do know
combines all
this.
of these different eras, all these different characters. Whether you love it or you hate it, that's what it is. It's this wonderful thing. And when it starts off with the G1 cartoon, it's doing that to you straight away. It's going for the,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
it
nostalgia.
really is.
And when I first watched it, I was like, is this the past? Is that the past of these guys? The G1 the past? Like Earthspark did a similar
I
thing.
was just going to say. But what was funny about that was that when Earthspark did it and they put all the G1 footage, like even in some of the trailers and things like this, and everybody started like questioning it, going, does this mean it's actually G1? What's happening here? Is it a sequel? And it was like people were really losing their brains about it. But then I was sat there thinking, yeah, but Animated did this like nearly 2 decades ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've already
That's
done that.
cool.
it's not new
You were that
as
guy.
such, but
Animated
yeah,
did it first, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Where were you in 2007?
Noob.
Traveling around the world, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
In a balloon.
In a balloon. Exactly.
As you say, this has got big ties in terms of thematic story and all of that kind of stuff, and little homages to lots of previous bits of Transformers. Some of it is really overt, and like the character choices or the designs and things like this, like that's obviously Bayformer's Megatron in the first episode there. There's a lot of G1 stuff in there. It's a really kind of good mix, in my opinion.
Yeah, just the characterization. Immediately, we've got like, so Ratchet's more like Cup. We've got an aging Ultra Magnus who the way he's drawn looks like he has a little bit of facial hair, which made me giggle out loud.
Ultra Magnus is a little bit stalkerish, like he was already listening in on the line, when
Yeah,
Prime
Bit,
rings up,
isn't it? Yeah.
Prime rings up and he's like, put me through to Magnus, and Sentinel's like, hold up. He shows him the Allspark. Next thing, Magnus pops up. He's like the Rupert Murdoch of Transformers, like he's just listening
My
in.
God.
Yeah.
And he's just cutting in. He's like, yep, there's a Zepticon War Cruiser, don't worry. And he's like,
Oh no.
he's not told you anything. You've literally just come in and told him what he's about to tell you.
I already dislike Ultra Magnus more on the basis of that comparison.
Oh, no.
So thank you very much, Liam.
Spoilers, Ultra Magnus falls off a boat and disappears at the end. God, old people jokes.
I don't know about spoilers, but you've certainly spoilt that character, put it that way.
Yeah.
So, Jason, if you weren't watching then when this first came out, were you aware of like a lot of the backlash of this pre-airing?
No, not really. I am in retrospect, but except for G1 cartoon and the movie, it's amazing I did animation at college. I actually don't watch the cartoons. It's all about the toys for me more often than not. I've not seen Earthspark either.
Liam, did we interview him for this podcast? What happened there?
I don't
How did he
know.
fly through the interview process?
I thought we had a robust questionnaire and everything.
I'm sure that we asked these kind of questions at the time. Didn't we do some sort of research on him, honestly?
Probably. I'm good at winging it.
It's worth putting into context just quickly before we kind of get into the episode and the show itself, because when this landed, first of all, it pretty much broke the internet, or the Transformers corner of the internet. So let's put it that way. It didn't break the internet maybe to the level of that Kim Kardashian picture or whatever, but the one that you always talk about, Liam. You love that thing.
We're coming in like a wrecking ball with these references, aren't we?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I know you love that picture.
It's a classic.
I don't want to take that away from you.
Like Ultra Magnus has been for Sixo.
Exactly. Yeah, that's been destroyed for me. So, but yeah, this was certainly broke the Transformers corner of the internet because. And I'm going to fess up to this. I was one of those people that when I first saw the animation style for this, the art style, I should say, in still, not in actual animation, I didn't really care for it. I was a bit like, what is this? It was just so different. I think now it's hard to imagine that. And I've seen people now that weren't around at that time, whether they were too young or they weren't born or whatever else, who kind of can't imagine that time because they see animated in the context of today where it's this absolutely beloved thing that everybody just sings about all the time. But wind back 17 years or 18 years, it was so not the case. It was very controversial when it first debuted, and it was only when the first footage started being dropped at I think it was at San Diego Comic-Con and things like this, that actually people started to warm up to it a little bit. But the first images, no, not at all.
Wow.
It's the first real rapid departure in animation style the Transformers have ever had, because
Exactly.
all of the different cartoons we've had before, they all look different, but the robots just got very normal proportions and shapes. Animated changed all that. It's very stylized in a way.
So stylized.
Beast machines, but yeah.
Yeah, but let's not talk about that. We're not doing
Right,
that.
I was going to just throwing that one in there that there was Beast machines.
Yeah,
not to forget about it, but
they weren't stylized in terms of the art. They were stylized in terms of the character designs themselves. Whereas this, it's very much a specific art style and the way it looks, and it's so different. Like you, when I first saw the first images, it's a bit like, oh, what's that? When you see it in motion, it's just life. There's so much love put into it, and it comes through in every single frame. And it does, like a lot of cartoons look like certain times, and this does look like that era. Like, obviously,
it does.
Yeah.
Ben 10, and
I was
that's
going to say
because
that.
of Derek J. Wyatt, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they look like that.
Yeah, so the art director, who lots of people know, is Derek J. Wyatt, had worked on Ben 10, he'd worked on Teen Titans and things like that, and so it's no shock to sort of see that style carried over to this at all.
Yeah, it absolutely fitted with that style, and which I love, but it also makes for very likable characters. And it's got this really immediate energy and fun about it.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, though, with the toys and the toy artwork, I absolutely loved it. I loved the packaging of that.
It was brilliant.
It was great. And then to now see it come to life as well, it just makes total sense. even the little kids that are in this first episode as well, and the way that how they're styled and drawn and stuff like that. It's a little guy with like the hollow eyes who doesn't have any pupils in his eyes and just that kind of thing. It's very of its time.
The humans, in some ways, are kind of the hardest bit to kind of get your head around when you first see them, but it totally works in the context of this world.
Isaac Sundak's eyes. There's something very strange sometimes about his eyes. Every now and again, there are these little clips, and I'm a bit like, oh, he's going to murder some people. That guy. He's got them eyes, this strange staring eyes.
But it was just such a real shot in the arm, this thing, when it landed, with the toys and everything else as well. In the context of coming off the back of like Cybertron and all of that, it felt very different and like a return to something classic while still being new at the same time.
Yeah.
I think the whole setup of this is really interesting. A lot of people at the time were surprised to sort of see an Optimus Prime that was much younger, kind of not battle hardened and all of that. It's sort of almost taking like a little bit of what Optimus Primal was in Beast Wars, but applying it here. But I really like it. And I like the whole kind of Renford Rejects aspect of like the Autobot crew here, that they're all kind of down and outs.
Yeah.
I made a bit of a note here that Prowl is a bit of a jerk in this, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Just saunters in and is just like Mr. Cool and has a bit of a beef with Prime as well, a bit of an ego.
Curious mix of characters, isn't it, to be put on this kind of work shift, and they're kind of, misfits. But then you've got Prime, who was in the academy there and is washed out for mysterious reasons. Ratchet, who was a Great War hero. Prowl, who is some kind of super ninja.
Yep.
Bulkhead, who is a genius scientist type engineer.
We don't know that yet, though.
And then Bumblebee. But it's kind of a strange thing. And then, not to spoil the spaceship, you're like, how have all of these things coalesced and come together? This makes no sense.
Right, okay. So the spaceship. So I noted the spaceship's colours, which just gave me Hot Rod vibes as soon as I saw it.
Hot Rod vibes.
Yeah,
it turns into Hot Rod, Jason.
No,
yes?
it wasn't that. I just was like,
is
this just a nod to Hot Rod because it's red and orange?
It turns into a massive hot rod. It's really it's quite something to see.
Not pink enough.
Not pink enough. That's true. I did think
he transforms and says, "If you're going to ride, you got to ride in style."
Well, that's it. That's
they all fly
job.
Off. It's amazing. Exactly. It's a really good sequence.
He's not watching the shuttle anymore. He is the shuttle.
He is the shuttle.
But once they put the Allspark in, which I'd like to point out is just a big Matrix suitcase, in my opinion. But nothing happened when it was put inside what I thought would be Hot Rod. He didn't transform or become bigger or grandfathery.
You did actually think it was going to be a massive Hot Rod?
No, I didn't go that far. I just thought the colours were quite reminiscent, that was all. I got a shout out to Blitzwing as well. His first entrance and that kind of triple changing face that's going on and just seeing that moving and his character coming out of that. I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, he's a bit of a fan favourite. This is a good example because it's sort of classic Blitzwing, but really not at all. And it's just its own thing, but sort of a bit mad and just kind of off the wall. But
you're taking it further. Yeah. That's it.
The lineage is there.
Yes.
But it's its own brand new thing.
Yeah. But I do want to shout out about Megatron and how muhassive that guy is. He is like, whoa.
Muhassive. I love that.
Muhassive.
Muhassive is how cows say.
Yeah, exactly.
Massive. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds about right. Cows and Scottish people.
Yeah. It's just like huge, wasn't he?
Big.
Muhassive.
Muhassive.
Say it again.
But yeah, he's very big. All of the Decepticons are big. And it's another twist of this series versus kind of classic G1 or whatever, is that the Decepticons are far more physically intimidating than the Autobots. And you see that throughout the series as well. So, which is good. It does mean that later on, there are definitely times where they have to be nerfed quite a bit. Right, as the series goes on, they have to find ways to kind of take their power set down just a smidge. It means that in these early scenes, it absolutely makes them that much more intimidating when they first show up.
Yeah, and it's good to see that Starscream is just being consistently Starscream. In this one, he just goes for it straight away. And literally just blows Megatron up.
Yeah, not hanging about, is he?
Not at all.
He's learned since G1 not to just talk about his intentions and say, "Oh, one day I'm going to betray you." He just does it,
but does it in the sneakiest, most manipulative way because he's all creepy and kind of like, "Oh, I'm Master Megatron," or and he's all just bow down and all this kind of stuff, and then just like slam. See you later.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question then, as you've not seen this. Obviously, Starscream is voiced by the legendary Tom Kenny. Do you know who else Tom Kenny voices in this particular episode?
I'm going to No, I don't. I was going to say Ultra Magnus, but I don't know, to be honest.
Not Ultra Magnus. Do you know, Liam?
Is it Sentinel Prime?
No, it's Sumdak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. Which is a bit questionable, isn't it? Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Like, it's 2007. Like, you wouldn't do that now.
No.
It's the same as well with Sari, who's voiced by Tara Strong.
No.
It's definitely an of-the-time thing.
Yeah.
It has been acknowledged since, and they've come out and sort of said, oh, yeah, no, actually, we shouldn't have done this.
Think it through.
As was the negative style of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rightly come under more scrutiny since, but just of the time. Also want to shout out to Corey Burton in this, who I know I've talked about in like previous podcasts and stuff as like a favourite voice actor of mine.
Corey Burton?
Yeah, I can never say it. Yeah.
I would say Corey.
Corey.
Yeah, I would say
You
Corey.
said it like people say Coronation Street, like shut it down to Corey.
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 Corey Burton.
It's
Yeah.
one of those American names, isn't it? Corey.
But I
Corey.
say Famke Janssen as well, even though I know it's Janssen.
It's not though. It's Famke Janssen. Jason, you had it right.
You had it
Oh no,
right,
wait!
I think,
I didn't mean Famke Janssen. I meant the other one who plays Alita in Transformers
You meant a
1.
different
Scarlett
person
Johansson.
with a different name.
Names, you know.
Is that when you met Scarlett Johansson and you kept calling her Famke Janssen and she looked at you like, what?
Yeah, like, what?
What's
Sorry.
he on about? But yeah, no, Corey Burton. Was that right?
Yes.
Good. Okay. He's two characters in this as well. Obviously, he's Megatron. Do you know what else he does?
I'm going to go with Bulkhead.
He's Ratchet.
Oh, I was good. That was my first thinking, but I don't know, to be honest. That's so hard in this, isn't it?
Good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very good.
And then, of course, you've got the GOAT. You've got David Kay as Optimus here, who
amazing. Yeah.
previously had been Beast Wars Megatron. And, so that's really something as well, I think.
He's got a really good Optimus voice because he sounds so different to prior Optimuses and even later ones who all largely sound like Cullen or Cullen adjacent, don't they?
Yeah. Cullen adjacent.
He sounds very much like his own thing.
I respect that, honestly. And I think whenever this debate comes up about Cullen always being Prime and other people doing the role or whatever, David Kay is always the one I think of first and foremost. And Gary Chalk, actually.
Yeah.
I will say it's good, but it is distracting. Too much Optimus mouth.
Oh.
I'm a faceplate guy.
Yeah.
I'm a faceplate guy. These guys popularized the mouth. No way, Jose. Not on my watch.
You're not into the mouth, yeah.
No.
But he's very expressive. He's pursing his lips and all this kind of stuff an awful lot as well. And when he goes into full Prime mode and does all the action hero stuff and the faceplate comes in as well, that was a very enjoyable sequence of animation.
The animation
really
is
cool.
really good in this, I think.
It's great.
So,
Yeah.
I love the energy of it, the style, the timing of it, the atmosphere, I think is really good. The music is superb. It all kind of adds together nicely to kind of create this tension.
They've all got great chins.
They've all got very good chins.
Yeah,
It's true.
chin watch is big, yeah.
Strong chins, aren't they?
Sentinel, Ultra Magnus, Ratchet.
Sentinel is just a chin with legs, isn't he?
His chin walks into the room and then he follows.
Chintinel Prime. That's what it's going to be called.
Chinny reckon.
He's got that little screw in his chin as well that you kind of want to stick a flathead screwdriver in and just
See what happens.
loosen it off a little bit.
His teeth fall out.
I don't know, you see one of those big screws and you're I really want to have a good unscrew on that. Yeah.
Kind of explains why Sentinel later screws up.
What I did want to talk briefly about here is the kind of setup, because of course it's sort of follows your classic Autobots crash land, go comatose, except that it's just a couple of, 50 years?
50 years.
50 years.
Yeah,
Which,
exactly.
how old is Isaac Sumdac here then?
I did wonder.
I think he's 57.
He's not 7 when it shows you him in working away tinkering and building robot arms.
I think he is, because he's a childhood genius.
7.
Maybe he's 7 to 10 years old, something like that. I'd say that.
Did you watch the episode?
I did. No, I was using screwdrivers when I was 7 and soldering irons and all that kind of stuff, building different things.
Wow,
yeah.
Jason Sumdac. Okay.
Jason was building himself his hot air balloon.
That's true.
I would say he could be in his teens.
Yeah, I would have thought late teens.
Yeah.
So he's got to be his 60s by the time
Late
this begins.
60s, yeah, I would say.
The very young daughter.
Yeah, but don't say anything. No spoilers, Jason.
Oh, this is like, wow.
Don't
this
say
is
anything.
exciting.
No, it's all for another day.
Everyone's going to jump me on socials and be like, oh, look at
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
you know?
Oh, what don't you know? Spoilers! Yeah, for a
Exactly.
17-year-old cartoon. But no, I thought it was a really good setup. What I did think was strange in this episode is the cliffhanger. Because, there's no question for it. Jason's pulling a face already. It's a weird one, isn't it?
I was so confused. Really confused. It was all fine. Robots making robots. This all makes sense. What is this giant organic bug
Yeah.
that's just appeared? Which is,
It's a gear shift.
All very
It's a
confusing.
definite gear shift.
Yeah.
For me, this 3-part opener is best viewed all together. Like, I know that I'm saying that, and then we're actively doing it as separate pieces, but it's like a little mini movie, basically.
Right,
because
okay.
it's such a strange place to put the cliffhanger. It doesn't make any sense to do that, really.
Yeah.
Well.
In terms of a single episode, that makes the pacing really off. Unless you watch all three together, then the pacing is fine. But where it ends there, you're like, huh? What?
Yeah, it's just strange that they've crash landed, they're offline, you get the revelation that decades have passed, a big bug is threatening the city, and we're done. And it's like, it's a really weird shift. But, you know, you have to watch all three, or kind of have that in mind, at least when you're watching the second part, I think. And viewed as a holistic thing, it's really good, honestly. The second part is really good as well. And if you are weirded out by the big bug thing, it's only going to get a lot worse from here on in. That's what I would say.
Yes.
But if you like big bugs and you cannot lie, right up your street.
I love big bugs.
And you cannot lie.
Some other stuff I do want to shout out in here in terms of like homages and things like this. I thought like Bumblebee's hands popping out and stuff like that was a little bit G1. He also refers to Optimus as Big Bot at one point, which I thought was probably a little bit of a Beast Wars homage.
First time we've seen Bumblebee in a cartoon since G1, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it probably is. Yeah.
No. There was that whole period of time where they couldn't use his name. And then it's the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Where he returns to drown toy aisles for generations to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Forever. Yeah.
Well, it actually wasn't going to be Bumblebee at all in this cartoon.
No.
It was going to be Hotshot.
It was.
On the back of the Unicron trilogy. And Hotshot does appear in this cartoon later on, but only for like one brief scene. But yeah, he was originally supposed to be the main part of the cast. So that's why the character is not very Bumblebee.
But at least he can talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's not beep, boop, beep, beep, beep.
There's still a nod to the Bayverse there because he has the black stripe on his car mode, which is supposedly a bit of a reference to the Camaro and all of that kind of stuff. He also uses the immortal phrase, "We're all going to die," which is a definite reference to Beast Wars, of course, with Rat Trap.
Is that where that's from?
Yeah,
Right.
that's where it comes from.
You say immortal, I say quite generic phrase. We're all going to die. Whoa.
Potato.
Yeah. It's in every movie.
Shakespearean. It's so unique. Such a phrase.
I didn't say Shakespearean. I just said that it was, something that he says, which he does, and it's said again here. That's all. I take it you also spotted Spike, Carly, and Daniel in there.
No. What?
Did you not? Did you watch this episode?
I watched it twice.
Twice?
Are you sure you watched the right one?
In the street scene, they're once it's gone past 50 years or whatever, they're there, just like hanging out on the street.
Really?
In their little uniforms.
Awesome.
And
I
recurring characters, sort of.
So be honest, did you notice that when you first watched it?
100%.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I first watched this, I should say, with my wife back when it was airing. And then we've just recently rewatched the whole thing with my son. And this is like his favourite bit of Transformers now as well.
Yeah,
absolutely loves it.
Choice.
Yeah. So I did ask my son if he wanted to watch it a while ago. And he Stone Cold said no at that point because he was all over the MCU.
I watched it when it came out and I stole it off the internet the day it went up for upload on the internet in America. It's like, yep.
That's illegal.
You wouldn't steal a car. That turns into a robot.
You quite literally did download a car, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Come for me, Cartoon Network.
All in all, then, I mean, lots to say about this one, and we're going to watch the whole series of this, aren't we? Let's be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now knowing that you haven't seen it.
I need
Jason.
to watch it now.
It's like, we're not going to leave you hanging, don't worry.
I mean, you've got to see Hot Rod as the shuttle,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. The truth has to be out, you know?
The truth is out there, Jason.
I can't wait till he transforms into that shuttle. It's going to be brilliant, honestly. But yeah, so we are going to come back and watch all of these. But as an opener, as a part 1 of 3, what do you guys make of this?
Really, really great.
A lot of fun. Good to see a twist on the kind of usual story, but also some old favourites back there as well. I mean, I'm really excited to see where it goes, having never watched it. Yeah.
So refreshing. But so nostalgic, refreshing, just fantastic. So full of life.
I would say really, amazing cartoon. Love it. Definitely top tier Transformers for me. Yeah. I think that this opening episode, it only actually gets better from here. Right.
Yeah.
That would be
that's a good sign.
My observation. But, do let us know your thoughts as well in the comments, because we'd love to know what you think about Transformers Animated. And have you watched our other Short Circuits episodes as well so far? Because we've already done a couple on G1. And if you want more content like this, and why would you not? You want to listen to our podcast as well, because we do have a fortnightly podcast, the Triple Takeover Podcast. It's on all the things. It's out there in the ether. It's also on YouTube. And we have a Patreon as well, where we've got lots more exclusive material. We've got bonus episodes. We've got a Discord, which is absolutely happening. So you want to get on that as well. Check out all the things, like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. And we'll catch you for the next one, won't we?